Hi everyone, I'm Pranita and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to be learning how to make this Indian snack called Katte Appalu. So let's get started. So these are the ingredients you're going to need for this recipe. Here I have 1.5 cups of rice flour and I have half a teaspoon of cumin seeds, half a teaspoon of cumin seed powder, 1 teaspoon of coriander seed powder, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1.5 teaspoon of extra hot chili powder. Now, I like the Katte Appalu spicy though, so that's why I'm using this much amount of chili powder. But if you like it mild, please use a milder chili powder or cut down the chili powder amount in half if you're using extra hot. This is thinly chopped up curry leaf and this is carom seeds, just a small pinch. And here I have 1/4 cup of sesame seeds. Now this is the second most important dish that gives its flavor. Now these are non-toasted raw sesame seeds. Now I'm using the non-toasted ones because when you're frying them in the oil they toast up, that's when they give their nuttiness. But if you're using toasted sesame seeds, they would just start burning in the oil, so you want to use non-toasted ones. And here I have a tablespoon of chana dal which are soaking for about an hour. Now you don't want to soak it for a long time. Hour is a good time. And here I have 2 large garlic cloves which I'm gonna grate or mash. We need it in a nice mashed form. So the next thing to do, oh wait, one more thing that I have is a Ziploc bag. Now you can use any thick bag that can hold a consistency of a dough. I'm just gonna cut the edges off and make it like a book. And then I have a tortilla press right here. So here I have mixed up all the spices, the sesame seeds, and I also added the garlic which I have mashed up to the flour. And here I have about half cup of water which I've brought to boil, but I'm not gonna go ahead and add all of it at once. First I'm gonna just go ahead and mix in the garlic paste into the flour so that it's not a lump just at one place. And remember, since we are using hot oil, it's gonna burn, so you need to work really carefully. So I've added about 1/4 cup of hot water and I'm just gonna work around it, make sure I don't burn my hands, and at the same time I don't leave any lumps. And I'm gonna add about a little bit more of hot water. It would be half of 1/4 cup, and that should be enough. Here I have some just room temperature water which I'm gonna add it with my hand, taking about a couple of tablespoons at a time, just slowly adding and kneading as I keep going. Now, so this is how it's gonna look once the dough comes together. Before you smooth it out, you wanna make sure you check for salt, taste the salts, and then smooth it out, so that way you don't have to deal with the whole kneading again. And one more thing is that you don't want the dough crumbly. Like if you take a little bit of dough and turn it into a smooth dough ball, it should smooth out nicely, and then when you press into it, it shouldn't like crumble on the sides. It's nice and stable. So we want to keep kneading and kneading without adding much water. I didn't end up adding a lot at all, so just keep going. And I'm gonna smooth it out and let it sit for about like 5 to 10 minutes until the oil heats up. So since I said earlier I'm gonna show you guys 2 ways, I'm gonna just divide the dough into the half. For one dough, I'm gonna just put this aside, and to this batch I'm gonna go ahead and add that curry leaf, and not all of the chana dal. I mean, if you're using the whole dough, you can go ahead and add all of it. I'm just gonna add a little bit just to give it some texture. Now when these chana dal fry up in the oil, oh, they just become so delicious. And then you give it a final knead, and then we can go ahead and make the Katte Appalu both ways. Alright, so here is the setup for making the Katte Appalu. Here I have some canola oil for deep frying, which I'm bringing up to 350 degrees. This is the dough that I didn't add the chana dal and the curry leaf. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys first. But here, as you can see, my puri press or tortilla press, which I have lined with some ziploc that I've cut up and shown earlier. So first, to the ziploc, what I'm going to do is just grease it a little bit, or you can just spray it with non-stick cooking spray, but just grease it, and you can dip the dough ball in the oil a little bit to just help you out, because since it is just plain old dough, it needs a little bit of more help. And just press it with as much as pressure you can. And as you can see, if it's not evened out, you can just turn the ziploc and even it out wherever it needs to, but this seems pretty even to me. And then you want to see which side it's coming out. Oh, there you go. And once it's done, you can take another ziploc like this and let it sit. But while you're transferring, now here is a tricky part. What you wanna do is, you wanna just, with the help of the ziploc, you wanna just peel it away, and the 3/4 of the Katte Appalu, the cracker, should be in your hand. Or you can take the whole thing like this. And there you go. You have the Katte Appalu. Before making them into dough balls, anytime if you feel like the dough is a little bit tough, you can just wet your fingers or your palm just a little bit and give it a good knit, and then go ahead and make them into nice roundules. So then you will have like nice smooth dough balls. Now this is the one that has the chana dal and the curry leaf in it. So I'm just gonna give it a small knit and turn them into dough balls. So we're gonna follow the same procedure as we did earlier and make them into nice chana dal ones, Katte Appalu. So to press the ones with the chana dal, what you want to do is or you can also add peanuts, raw peanuts that you take the skin off of them. So you can just press it just enough so you hear that you touched the chana dal while you're pressing. Like you'll see that while you're pressing, not only the resistance, you have to add more. That's when you want to stop, and just enough. You don't want to press it a lot. By that I mean that you should just crush the chana dal just a little bit, but not mash it up. If it does mash it up, what happens is that the cracker would be too thin to handle. Then it would start tearing at the edges or in the middle. So here is the canola oil ready to be fried up. In the meanwhile, I've made some Katte Appalu or crackers, and here I have a steam basket lined up in a bowl just to let the Katte Appalu rest, or sometimes when I need the spoon rest. Here I have the Katte Appalu. Usually what you can do is you can let them rest on another ziploc, or you can just go ahead and keep pressing them and dropping them into oil. When you're dropping them, slowly, gently slide it off. Make sure you don't burn your hands. And once you drop it into the oil shows a good 350 degrees, and these are very thin and wafer-like, so they don't really take much time. What I'm going to do is, while that is frying, I'm just going to go ahead and add one more. Now you want to make sure that you have enough room for them to fry, and you don't want them to burn. And remember, whenever you add something to the oil, it brings down the temperature of the oil. Oh my goodness, it's puffing like a puri. Which is a very good thing, which means that it has nice airiness, the dough has a nice consistency, but which also means that it's gonna absorb a little bit more oil, and it's gonna be very wafer and cracker like. Now the bubbles are the main indication for any frying dish. As you can see, these are going down, these are a little bit active because I added that after I've added this. And you want to make sure that you're turning them around a few times, and you can just take them out. Now as they are still hot, they start to pick up even more color because they don't cool down immediately. They take a little bit of more time. And this dish takes like no time. You have to keep working on it one after another. One more tip that I wanted to include is that if you have any cereal covers, like the breakfast cereal that come in the thick plastic covers, you can use that as for the appalu to rest. And when you're resting them, you don't want to rest them more than 5 to 10 minutes because they will dry out. The flour doesn't have much moisture in it. Make sure you want to press it down so that a little bit of aeration forms in the middle, and where there is aeration there is always crispiness and flakiness. So here are the katte appalu. These are the ones without the chana dal and the curry leaves, and these are the ones that are with chana dal and curry leaves. They're a little bit bent, but they are still delicious. I've tasted the salt and chili powder, and they are crispy all the way through. And the center part is always the crucial part, and make sure that when you're frying them up or when you're taking them out of the oil, be careful, wear some protective mittens, and just be safe around the oil. So these are the katte appalu ready to be served. Thanks for watching. You can find this recipe and many more at booklesscooking.com. Thank you.